So, I want to talk to you today about the DJI Pocket 3 and some of the issues that have been popping up online and also on YouTube here lately. And it has to do with the screen. Now, this is not 100% on my part. This is strictly conjecture as far as what's going on with the screen on the Pocket 3. And just something to keep in mind. Now, like I said, I'm not a DJI hater and I'm not a fanboy. But I do like DJI products. And I will tell you that the more and more that I use the Pocket 3, the more and more that I'm really, really impressed with this. It's just a phenomenal little pocket size powerhouse of a camera. There are some people out there that are experiencing a screen issue. And what I mean by that is when they take their Pocket 3 and they turn it on, the screen will go all flippy on them. And it will either jerk around or it won't stay oriented properly. Now, I've seen a lot of people online where they will flick it up and flick it down. And it is a very cool little feature that it can flick up and down. And there's a lot of people that have been a little bit concerned about the longevity of that flip screen and how long that it's actually going to last. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures here of what I'm talking about regarding the screen issue. And it's not like it's hundreds of them. There's probably, I think I've seen about 6 or 7 online that have had issues with it. And a lot of them primarily happen when they first get it and they take it out of the case and they turn it on for the first time that there's a little wonky issue. Well, I will tell you what my inkling suspicion is with the Pocket 3. And I will say this first. DJI, they have said that the Pocket 3, regarding the screen, that they've tested it 20,000 times, opening and closing it. And I do believe that there is some quality control, especially with a new design. But then again, with any new design, there's always going to be a problem. Even with if you remember the DJI Action 3, that I'd called out that the focus was not focused correctly. And what my thought process was, and I'll put up a couple of video links up here, that I thought that the lens assembly was not screwed in or out properly for the focus. And, DJI, they quickly released the GoPro. They quickly released the Action 4, and it's in focus. I love this little Action 4. It's a great little camera. But back to the Pocket 3. This is what I think is going on with the Pocket 3 and why there may be issues. I noticed this right off the bat. So when you put the Pocket 3 into its case, you're supposed to push it all the way down, snap it in. And that's something that I did it from the first time, but I was like, wow, this is really, really tight in here. And it made me think, when I pull it out of the case, I'm very careful pulling it out, but I wonder, I don't know if we can see with this camera here, but if you look at the inside edge, of course, this camera is not going to focus, but you've got this edge right here, and there's another one opposing on the opposite side that squeeze up on the side of the Pocket 3's screen. Now, when you put the Pocket 3 into its case, it's screened down, and then the gimbal assembly will go into this little notch right here, and you put the head of the gimbal/camera in first, and then you're supposed to push it down and lock it. What I think is happening is when you're pulling it out of the case when it's completely depressed, that case is so tight, when you pull it up, the screen is actually being pulled away slightly from the body of the camera. And I don't know how they've got the screen attached inside and how that whole mechanism works. If it's spring-loaded or, there's a lot of people talking about that it's magnetic. I don't know. I'm gonna just go out on a limb, and I don't think that it's magnetic, even though it does feel like there's a little click when you turn it on. I think that maybe there may be a spring attachment, And ultimately, there's going to be somebody that's going to go out there and disassemble the Pocket 3 just to see how the screen is assembled. But I will tell you one thing that I noticed just not too long ago. When I say not too long ago, probably about an hour or two ago, I was wiping down the screen. I don't know if you can hear it. Hear that little click? The screen seems to move up and down ever so slightly. And I just wonder, when you take it out of the case, if it's so gripped onto the screen, it's trying to pull the screen away from the body. And I don't know if we can even, if I got a light here, but there's probably, if I was to guesstimate, about a half a millimeter to maybe 3/4 of a millimeter of gap that is between the screen and the body. And it looks like it's on a pivot point, just dead center of the screen, which would make sense because it has to rotate around. But I think that that is what the issue is with the Pocket 3. Now, there could be some quality control issues. Hey, don't get me wrong. It may have, I don't know, maybe it is a magnetic assembly and it's not a spring assembly inside. And if it is a magnetic assembly, I don't know how they attach the magnets. Are the magnets on the screen or are they embedded on the backside? But that's what I think. I think that if you've got the Pocket 3, and I will say there's two things that I'm going to be very cautious of, and I've been very cautious of ever since I first saw the screen issue, because I didn't like the way that it fit in the case, and I actually grabbed the case and I spread it out a little bit so that it wasn't such a snug fit. And when I put the Pocket 3 inside of its case, I don't snap it down all the way. I know they say that you're supposed to, but I just don't do it, because if I'm right and it is a screen issue being tugged away from the body, I don't want to do that. And the second thing I'm very cautious of is when I turn it on. I just don't flick the screen. I actually just gently help it and let it turn on and do its thing. And then when I turn it off, I gently, well, that was kind of loud, but I gently turn it off and let it do its thing. And that's that. But anyway, that's the way that I handle my DJI Pocket 3. I'm sure that either DJI is going to either address it. I don't think that it's a firmware fix that's going to fix the internals of the Pocket 3. I think that it's not a firmware issue. It's definitely going to be hardware, but what's contributing to the hardware? So that's why I wanted to do this video, because, I don't want to make this really long and drawn out, but I want you to comment down in the comment section below what you think about the Pocket 3 and what the possible contributing factor is to the screen issue. Because, I've heard some people say that, oh, well, these people, they're dropping their camera, or they're doing this, or they intentionally do this, or they're flicking it as hard as that they can. I really don't think that, because, when you think like the creator's combo, $700, that's a lot of money, unless they just have money to burn and they treat everything like, brutally harsh. I treat everything that I have very, very, very carefully. Whether I bought it like I did, I bought the Pocket 3, the creator's combo. The Insta360 Go 3 was sent to me by Insta360. But even though they sent it to me and I did a review on it, and I've got a couple more videos that I'm still going to do on the Go 3, I'm not going to treat this harshly just because it was sent to me for review. I take care of all my stuff. So I really don't think that it's user error that's happening with a lot of these things, unless there's a design flaw with the case. And that seems to be my train of thought. I think that there's a design flaw with the case. I may be proven wrong, and if I am proven wrong, great. But I just want those of you out there that do have the DJI Pocket 3 to think for just a second, you know what? How many thousands of these Pocket 3s got sold within the first, let's just say the first week that it was released? I would venture to say that there was probably 4,000 or 5,000 minimum that got sold within that first week. So, there could be some quality control issues. It happens. We're all human. And, humans put these things together, and it could be one part was misaligned or something, or if there was some glue that was used, there's not enough glue, although I don't think that they would use glue in something that generates this much heat. And, that's another issue. People talked about that, Pocket 3 generates so much heat. I've had like zero problems, especially with this latest firmware that the Pocket 3 got for an update. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it fixed whatever the heating issue was. The thing works great. I mean, it takes such great video. So if you have the Pocket 3, don't freak out. When you look at, I've personally seen like 6 or 7 online. There may be, let's say that there was 60 cases of a screen issue. That's not a huge deal breaker, in my opinion, or as far as faulty rate. So I mean, if you've got 6 or even 60 out of thousands that got made and released, it's not that bad of a deal. Now, there's been a couple instances where people said that it started having a problem with the screen after a couple of days, or after 4 or 5 uses, or after a week, or after 2 weeks, and they started having a screen issue. I've had my Pocket 3 now for about 3 weeks now, and I've had no problems with it. And I've used it a ton, just because I want to see how dynamic a video capture that I can get with it, because I think it's a really powerful little camera. And yes, you have to be careful with it. It is bigger. It is more robustly built than what the Pocket 1 was that I have. And the Pocket 1, here it is, 4.5 years later. I've still got it, still works fine, still charges up. Anyway, just want to make a quick video. I say quick, it actually turned out a little bit longer than what I thought. But the Pocket 3, this is just, like I said, 100% conjecture on my part. But I think it may be because of the case and how tightly that it squeezes on it. So my recommendation is, if you've got the Pocket 3, stuff it down there like I've got mine stuffed not that far, or get a different type of case to be able to put it into. And what I mean case, like maybe a little camera case, one of those small little metal ones that has the foam insert there where you could put it in there. And be very gentle when you're flipping it on and off via the screen, as opposed to the power button. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on what I think may be the problem with the Pocket 3 screen, that it's being pulled away from the body of the camera via the case when we're taking it out. So could be right, could be wrong. Tell me in the comment section below your thoughts about it. And also, if you've got the Pocket 3 and you've experienced the screen issue, and if you have, put it in the comment to help the community. So all of us that have the DJI Pocket 3, so that we all know, tell us what exactly happened. I mean, did you just take it out of the case, brand new, and as you pulled it out, you noticed it was in there a little snug and then the screen messed up? Or was it after a couple of uses and then the screen messed up? But did it happen right when you pulled it out of its case? If that's the case, then it could be the case that's the issue that's pulling the screen away from the body. Anyway, comment below. Tell me if you've got the Pocket 3, if you've experienced the issue, and maybe what your thoughts are on what's causing this. So enough of that. I got to go back and finish up doing some more videoing with the Pocket 3, because it's really that good of a camera. Yeah, it's expensive, but you know what? It's really that good. Hope you guys stay safe. Bye.